Like, don't think I'm just some creepy guy looking at all your fucking old ass pictures.
So with us in the studio right now is the new and improved Alvaro. Just kidding.
Ron Johnson Swanson.
Ron Johnson Swanson's here in Alvaro's place, and our guest tonight is Caleb White of White Oaks Woodworking.
Yeah. Hey guys,
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
nailed it.
So you're a California boy, like our friend here, right?
Yeah, dude,
Keep
shut
that
the
on the
fuck
down
up.
low here, man.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
I fucked it up.
Get
So
me
let's do it
jumped or
again.
something, man.
Edit and post.
As long as you announce it whenever you.
I renounce it. I declare.
How long? You were there, born and raised over there in California?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, I even joined the Marine Corps to get out of California and then got stationed
Oh yeah, right
in California for the majority of
Is
my
it Pendleton?
enlistment. Yeah, Pendleton.
Pendleton, yeah.
Camp Horno.
Yeah, I remember driving by that every fucking time when I was in San Diego. What made you leave?
I didn't like California. No, it was just I'd been there my whole life, and it was just I'd always planned on moving to Texas when I got out of the military, but the plan was to retire out of the military after 20 years. Unfortunately, my back had other ideas.
You're
and,
30?
Yeah, so I ended up getting out at 12, got a medical discharge. You know, it was a whole thing. Got some injections that got infected, got a staph infection like 2 millimeters from my spinal cord.
You were in the Marines.
Here's the funny thing. I was in the Marine Corps for 12 years. I was in the infantry for the majority of that time. I never really broke a bone, never really got hurt. I barely even got shot at besides a couple pot shots that don't really count. But I go on recruiting duty, which I'm sorry out there to all my fellow recruiters. You know what I'm talking about. It's terrible. You're working like literally 20 hours a day at times. Like, you're not getting much sleep. You're doesn't matter what rank you are, you're pretty much a slave again. So I'm driving a desk all this time instead of carrying stuff on my back that keeps me strong, right? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to the gym twice a day, whatever. I'm just sitting at a desk. So all my muscles in my back get weak, and so my back pain is just crazy. And all my health problems started when I was on recruiting. So I ended up they gave me an injection to help with the pain. Unfortunately, I was a lucky recipient of a bad batch of corticosteroids and got infected and, required surgeries and antibiotics.
Here's some Motrin. Walk it off.
You're 100% disabled. Fuck it.
Dude, usually on recruiting, if you get hurt, like I've known of guys who've gotten in car accidents, and they still bring over a list and a phone and said, you better have a bunch of appointments for next week, right? My CEO and Sergeant Major, I mean, great guys. They took care of me. They went into the hospital. I don't know, maybe it was the nurse coming to give me morphine injections every couple minutes. But they kind of looked at me and they said, yeah, you're going to go home and wait until you get medically discharged.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Yeah, so.
But all good now, though. Close enough? Yeah.
I'm definitely much improved. Yeah, it was bad for a while. I ended up finding a treatment. It's called an ablation. It's basically where they go in every year or so, and they go into the myofascial regions. It's not like the main nerve, obviously, but like the one in your branch. What is that?
I've seen House. I know what it is.
Oh, House. Well, then you know everything.
Yeah.
Still on scrubs. It's not that great of a medical degree.
Last season sucks, all right? Don't knock on Scrubs.
Yeah, basically just go in there and they use this RF thingamajiggy, very technical, but it basically gets really, really hot and sears the nerves. And
you don't feel the pain.
Well, they give me some really good drugs.
I'm saying it sears the nerves, so you don't feel the pain anymore with those nerves.
So that keeps me going. And I'm due for one.
I like how their idea of unfucking something is by fucking up something else.
Let's just make it where you don't feel this. It's fine.
Your back hurts, don't worry, we can't fix it, but we can kill all the nerves inside so you don't feel shit.
Exactly.
You're like that dude from Jackass. I mean, was it Kick-Ass?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So we got you into woodworking, your grandpa, right?
So, I used to watch my grandpa. He would make doll houses for all my cousins. And, it was just nice to watch him and spend time with him and hear him say words I didn't realize that were really, really bad at the time. But, it was a good time.
Grandpas are for, man.
Appropriate learning.
Yeah, he is the greatest. And, it's just kind of something that me and my wife, Jessa, we'd always talked about having, like, a shop. And we kind of just assumed a wood shop. I thought it'd be fun to make stuff with my hands. But I didn't really have any experience doing it. but I have extreme ADHD with obsessive tendencies. So
I read that, and I was like, see this guy, because I saw it, and I'm like, this guy has a fucking passion, and I was like, why the fuck? And then I read ADHD. I go, that's fucking why I don't have
That's the feel.
ADHD.
So
Yeah,
I've jumped into a lot of different things, but this one was just perfect, and it suited me, and I have just as much, if not more, passion for it than I did when I started. So, a lot of times I would jump into something like, yeah, this sucks, I'm not doing it. Jump into something like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, and then a week later, I'm like, yeah, this sucks.
I go all out. I buy like new equipment or for whatever the fuck I'm gonna get
Yes.
into, and then out of it real fucking quick. It just sits in my
Yes.
closet.
Yes.
Like my base,
Very much
like
so.
my base,
Yeah.
I've
Like your
always-
what?
like my base.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would always refer to that as my like artistic ADD. You know, like I'll pick something up and I'll paint. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I'm like, fuck this, and then I'll go on to something else, and it's like, my wife does the same thing. Like, why don't you do something with this? I'm over that now. I'm on to the next thing. Just gonna move on. I haven't found that yet, though.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, it's still just a long list of maybes. Yeah.
All that gym equipment I got downstairs that I've used, nowhere near. No, I've used it like probably 10 times, and I've had it for like since we moved into the house, 2 years already, going on 3 years. And
Man, you
I've
could have
used
sold
it.
that during COVID for like
I didn't need it. I didn't need
its weight in
to.
gold, man.
Oh, dude, they were stealing fucking weights like crazy.
Alvaro joined the chat. He said, "Hola, niñas, except for our guest. You guys are great. Ana is cool. So everyone is cool except for the love penguin. Pigeons."
Pigeon.
Love pigeons.
Pigiones.
I don't get
It's
it.
Spanish for. No, never
For
mind.
pigeons. I don't get it. Love
they're-
pigeons.
Oh, that's us.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's kind of like a three-way, right? No, but I'm talking
What I
about
ain't doing that?
Anna's excluded from
Thanks
that.
for joining us.
Yeah,
We missed you, Anna.
welcome. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's always it's always fun to find something that you really enjoy and that you can make good money on. And I was reading that you were saying that like it's because your wife wanted you to make like a garbage can basket thing, right? And that's like the
Yeah.
kickoff.
Is
Like
that
a
the one
trash
where,
can
where
hider.
you
Yeah.
pretty much open the cabinet, pull it out, and the door comes out with it?
She didn't want anything that extravagant. I immediately hear the base model that she wanted was basically just like a lid, right? Basically like a giant trash can for a trash can, so
Okay.
it just kind of stays out of the way. But immediately I'm like, okay, well I can actually do like a pulley system, have it come out. And she's like, no, I don't want any of that. And so I over-engineered that out of everything, man. Just
You
like,
can cuss, it's fine.
Oh yeah, thank fucking God, I suck at not cussing.
Yeah, dude.
So she's like, no, it's too complicated. Because I'm overcomplicating everything, I never actually made it. Because by that time we started
Excellent.
making other things, started getting orders, and I'm still trying to figure out, because I got a CNC machine, I got all this other equipment that I'm setting up, and learning how to use, and, trying not to cut my fingers
How
off.
difficult is the CNC? Because I tried learning it in when I was in like one course in community college.
Mm-hmm.
I tried learning it. It's like a whole bunch of numbers.
It's
Like,
like math,
Yeah,
right?
G-code.
Math,
Well,
yeah.
G-code's actually really. Oh, I can't say it's really easy because I haven't actually learned it. I understand like small basics of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's basically like, you're military.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
so it's like, your coordinates, right? Your 8-digit grid. It's basically the same freaking thing, except they toss in a couple numbers here and there.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically just coordinates on a map where it's supposed to go to.
like
Plus, it's
Battleship.
adding velocity.
Yeah.
just more detailed. I
Yeah.
guess.
Battleship.
Back when, sorry, go ahead.
No, you could.
I was gonna say back when Lowe's had that partnership with I forget who it was, but it was basically like a workshop that you could rent space at, and they had a 1-year trial for veterans. And I went there and did that. They had some like CNC machine stuff, and then you could put those in there. And the minute I was like messing around with it, I'm like, oh, this is like math and shit, man. Like, I'm struggling here. I just want to draw a picture and magically have that get here.
Show it
Like,
to the computer.
yeah, like computer do, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, no.
Well, it actually kind of is like that. I mean, if you get some good software, which
what I've heard
I
now.
kind of when I realized that I was going to be like in this, I was almost out of credit card debt from all the other. Oh, I think that's going to be really cool ideas I had.
Yeah. All the other ventures.
And we are no longer almost out of credit card debt. Let's just put it like that. Got a little anti-Dave Ramsey,
Bro,
a
you
little
said
swipey.
You
if you know what I
said
mean.
CNC machine. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's a
Well,
good game.
actually, the Semper Fi Americas Fund. Have you ever heard of them?
I haven't, no,
They
actually.
used to be called the Semper Fi Fund, but they just rebranded recently because everyone thought Semper Fi, Marines only.
Sure.
But Yeah, they're a really awesome foundation. They actually have an apprenticeship program. So I had started on my shop, and I had been in contact with them before, among other things that they'd helped me with. And when the guy I was talking to, my rep, found out I was doing wood shop, he's like, well, did you get involved with the apprenticeship program? I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, we have this program, we can help you get started. Their qualifications as far as, the veteran and years of service and, rating, stuff like that. But I ended up qualifying.
So it is only for Marines?
No, military.
For the
Yeah,
service.
Oh, military.
service
Okay,
member.
okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So
It's for
military.
anyone,
Yeah.
Coast Guard, whatever. And they actually ended up helping me out, like getting me some resources, getting me some mentorship. Other woodworkers kind of helped learn the ropes and everything.
Nice.
So it was awesome. They've been huge asset. They even set me up with a couple news interviews to help when I was, getting going.
cool.
Kind of helped me get out there.
Yeah.
That was great.
shit.
Over Christmas,
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they're
going
awesome.
beyond, man.
So, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
That's
they,
awesome, man.
so as far as with them, what did they do? They taught you how to use everything?
They will send you to classes. There's a program called I want to say it's EBV. I can't remember what it stands for, but it basically helps you learn how to run a business. Small business. They also set you up with classes. They were doing like online classes with. They'd have like other woodworkers or CPAs. Things like that kind of help you learn the ropes of like the smaller aspects of your business, including setting you up with mentors, or if you wanted to actually like apprentice, like if I wanted to go apprentice under a furniture maker, they would help, if there's a fee that actually, they could help out with that.
Shit,
Nice,
man, that's
man.
fucking badass. It just
Yeah,
help you with.
that's cool.
And the thing, and this is your only job right now?
Oh no, no, I have a day job.
okay.
I work as a demand planner.
What does that do?
So I basically just, we use like I work at a distribution center for electrical components for like utility poles and lines, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically, I just look at a bunch of charts and numbers and figure out where we need to send stuff to make sure we hit all orders. It's pretty.
Work from home?
I used to work from home. My former job, I actually just got this job, but it's in Georgetown. But my first job, real job out of the military, I ended up falling into a position as a lumber buyer for an international crating company. I was actually supposed to be the assistant to the assistant, but 2 days later, the assistant quit due to unfortunate circumstances, and then the buyer, still a good friend of mine, stopped caring. And he's like, yeah, they're gonna fire me. So,
As soon as you said still a good friend, I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah,
not gonna end well.
Something happened.
I love you, Peter.
That.
No, we're in contact all the time. But he basically said straight up, like, dude, they're probably gonna fire me because I'm going through some stuff and I don't want to be here anymore. And he just kind of taught me what he could in the couple months he had left, and they ended up moving on, and they didn't call me to fire me yet, so I'm just taking what I learned from a guy that had 20 years experience and was just buying lumber. Not doing a great job at it, but they ended up keeping me on, and brought in somebody new, and he kept me on and just taught me how to do it. So it was a really fun career. I really like the lumber industry, and kind of.
Is that your source of wood?
Oh, well, funny you should say that, because yes and no. Now, when we first started, we were just doing like the basic little, making bunnies and trees and stuff out of scrap wood. But I realized very quickly that there's no way I could actually sell that to make enough money just to pay for the depreciation on like the blades, let alone the glue and time and all that other stuff. And so I actually used the former companies. They used to throw away these. Well, they still do throw away these giant bins full of like low grade lumber and plywood cutoffs. Like some of these cutoffs are like 3 or 4 feet long, but they have like giant knots that they can't use or what have you. So they just throw it away. And so I just go over there and just take whatever I could.
That's badass. You're not
with their blessing. So
Yeah, you're not.
Where's this at? And
You got a green light for scrap wood.
right, that's awesome, man.
yeah, it wasn't profitable. So I ended up just posting a picture of me with like this. I finally bought some hardwood. Just bought some walnut, maple, and padauk for my buddy next door, who always would smoke brisket and would bring us like half of it. And so I'm like, I'll
Yeah,
make you a
brisket
cutting-
and wood? Fuck.
All right. So I made him a cutting board. Looking back on it, I cringe, but it was my first cutting board. But I seriously posted a picture of it. Hadn't even been glued up yet, and I had 8 orders in like
Nice.
2 days. And then that just took off. I'm like, okay, people like cutting boards. So I just decided to stick with that niche and kind of,
I got a before that cutting board, I got one from HEB, and it was nice. It looks nice, especially when it was brand new. It's just I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's round at the edges, flat on the sides, and it has those grooves and all that. It was a nice cutting board. Brother, when you fucking got me, but I didn't want to use that one.
Right? No, that's a charcuterie board. That's a serving board. Don't cut on that.
Oh, okay,
that's
good.
like
Oh,
putting
cut
cheese and sausages.
Oh, okay. Well, then my girl's gonna
it's
fucking
well
love
done.
that.
Yeah, the stuff that Anna does.
But it's not as well as like,
All right.
for instance, like edge grain and end grain. End grain is like the really good cutting board. That's the ones, especially the ones that are like barbecue places. You know, they want to have like an end grain because it holds up really well to knife edges, as well as if you have really nice knives, it helps your keep your blades from wearing down too fast. So.
All right, good. I didn't want to use that one.
why
That
you-
shit
no,
is
no.
nice. Dude, that shit is fucking
Serve on it.
beautiful. I think I just have it hung up somewhere.
That's why there's a hole on there.
Yeah, that's all that.
No, that's nice, man. Yeah, we were just out at Round Top, Texas, a couple of months ago, or like a month ago. They have that huge craft sale out there where it's like 10,000 plus vendors, and it's just lined the streets. This tiny ass little town. They do it 2 weeks in the spring and 2 weeks in the fall. I forget what it's actually called. I don't know. You can probably look it up. But anyways, it's just like tents everywhere, and there's people that sell, you know, things like what you make, just random, you know, antique shit, and then, you know, just all kinds of stuff. But there's this vendor there that was actually selling, you know, just blanks, you know, like just giant cross cuts of things. I mean, just amazing pieces of wood. And I probably lingered there forever. And she's like, you know, you can buy some? And fuck no, man. You're asking $500 for like a little tiny piece of cedar.
Yeah.
But it was some beautiful wood, you know. But that's something that, man, when those things come around, you know, it's always the people doing cutting boards and things like that, or any kind of like custom, really nice, you know, any kind of wood. They seem to like sell out super quick, man. That's a great market to be in. And I mean, your stuff's awesome looking, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I was looking at your Instagram like Rich was, and just looking at like, you know, I scrolled through the first one. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, cool. You know, that's some
Looking at that,
badass
I was
shit.
like, ooh, this is the video right here.
Yeah.
It's just a sped up video of you putting it together. I was like, God damn it. I always see people, because that's what like my YouTube is. It's a lot of woodworking, welding, and then like game shit and all this other bullshit. But when those wood videos come on, I'm just like, oh, this guy's making this. All right, cool. Just throw it on. It's 15 minutes. I don't give a shit. I'm watching this whole video. And I see them, and they'll be fucking putting all this beautiful shit together. I'm like, God damn it, dude. It's like, that's the kind of shit like I wish I could do, but I don't want to go through the whole buying every single fucking thing, because I know I'm going to want to buy every tool, every machine, every fucking thing required, because I want a lathe already. Mm-hmm. Just to do shit, because I see it and it looks bad.
Lathes look fun. I'm finally gotten to the point where I have my ADHD under control.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
So
It's like the other day I was like, I am about to go buy this whole new setup, and I don't. Oh no, it was a lens, a camera lens. It's like I don't need a new camera lens. I'd like a new camera lens that would be better for product photos and to use at festivals, kind of take photos. But you know, I realized, okay, I'm not really walking around that much at these festivals, so yeah, it'd still be nice, but it's not definitely not a
Necessity.
need.
Yeah.
It's a want. It's a luxury.
Yeah.
I can wait.
It
I'm
can
still
wait.
not very good at it, but I'm probably gonna wait.
is the woodworking like self-sustaining pretty much?
Yeah, yes and no. It's I'm able to make the bills and keeping it going. I when I started, I was in a good spot, and all the bills from the wood shop, from buying all the tools and stuff, were more than covered, and plus extra. And then a certain company I was working for, not my current one, decided to reward me for saving them millions during the worst lumber market in recorded history, which was 2020. And they gave me a promotion, more responsibility, and they cut my pay 25%.
Solid.
Fuck.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, like, oh, we're gonna put you on salary. I'm like, you're putting me on salary, so I'm losing all the overtime I was working.
Couldn't you say no?
Yeah, I could, but lack of experience. They were a little bit clandestine about the total amount that it actually was going to be.
Yeah.
So I got the paycheck, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And my boss there. It was not his fault. Great guy, huge mentor of mine. I love him to death. Still keep in contact with them. I told him, a few months back, I'm like, look, if I don't get a 36% raise with all that's going on right now between inflation and all this, that won't even put me back to where I was before. So do you really think this company is going to be able to,
Bounce back.
do that? And he's like, no. I mean, to be fully honest, I don't think. I mean, I respect that. He could have strung me along.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I don't see that happening, man. So I'm like, good to know. And the company I'm with now, I know somebody that used to be their CFO, and she's been talking me up to them for a couple of years, and she touched base with them again because I've been whining about my situation, and she touched base with them again. Mentioned me again, like, oh, what industry is he in? It's like procurement. It's like, oh yeah, let's set up an interview. So set up an interview, hired me same day, and
Fucking A.
happy as hell.
Hell yeah.
It's going great, man.
Damn, that's what's
awesome.
up. And then they're paying you obviously more than. Are you doing the same thing as you were in
No.
the other job? No.
No, a little bit different. Just
Okay.
different side of procurement. A lot more precise, actually. I had to make a lot of systems for that previous company that were more tailored to lumber, mainly through Excel, just to kind of like help me because for a company that's main raw material was wood, they didn't know much about how it was bought or sold and stored, and it was just a whole thing. So I ended up having to write up a whole bunch of macros that basically saved me 3 hours a day of admin work, but also helped me like better analyze the inventory at each site to kind of make sure they actually had what they needed, or like kind of like flag things like, yeah, that's not right, there's probably something wrong there, I need to make a phone call to that GM, stuff like that. So
Nice.
Damn, dude. That's how you save them so much fucking money. You got into all that shit. I can't even. I barely learned how to work Excel.
Dude.
I still don't know how to keep the fucking font the same color. Luckily, it's only for X's, but like, 'cause I gotta put X's by these little fucking things. But other than that, like, I have to X. hold
YouTube
shit.
University, man.
Dude.
I'm serious.
It's good. I see the fear is it's gonna walk me through a whole bunch of shit. I just want to find out how to hold the font color. Like, that's all I want.
Additional formatting, man.
Say you're speaking Japanese to me, man.
Nah, not Japanese. The only word I know is hi. I learned that when I was in Okinawa.
Hi.
Hi is pretty much
Yes.
everything for Marines. Hi, hi.
Yeah.
How tall are you? Hi.
Moving on.
I'll hire you. Hi.
You were at Indian Springs Resort.
Yeah, over the Smoke Game Strong Festival.
What was that about? Because that's the one that's like southeast of us, right? Like going towards like
Manchaca.
Yeah.
I'm
Manchaca.
Manchaca, yeah.
I don't know. Is that what you're trying to
I
say?
think so. Manchaca.
not the, but this is like the one that's like southeast Texas.
Oh,
About 36 minutes.
Oh, okay. It's
No,
it's
it's
a
not that
different
far.
one then. Okay.
Yeah.
There's another one?
I guess there's another
Oh,
one.
there's
So I
a
was thinking-
lot of barbecue festivals out here,
Okay.
man. Yeah,
No,
this is a relatively new one. It's only about a year old, but a really good turnout.
Yeah.
And
But it's like
man.
a safari? Where
Well,
it was held?
the ranch there, they have the owner has been raising animals for his whole life basically. So there were bison there. There was a camel. I haven't seen a camel since Afghanistan. There was a camel out there. There were donkeys. It was a really nice environment. Lots
Yeah.
of shade trees out there. So you were in the sun, but I was able to move around and sit under a tree, and it was real nice. Good people.
So do you hit up do a lot of barbecue joints hit you up for the boards that you do?
Well, actually, I wanted to break it in the barbecue market for a while.
Mhm.
And so I marketed people that like to barbecue, and that was going okay. But it's a lot more onesies and twosies, really selective like marketing, and like it was just a lot. And one day my CPA knew John Brotherton, who owns Brotherton's Black Iron Barbecue. Have you guys ever been there?
Yes.
Have we?
favorite.
Oh my gosh, that
Pretty
place
sure I
is
heard this dude just
amazing,
come in his
right?
pants when you said the name. Like it was
Big
audible.
ass oyster.
God, man.
Yeah, we've been going there since we moved to that spot in Pflugerville, like 4 years.
You guys had their smash burgers?
No, I just saw that their promo for that. Are they good? Yeah. I love a good smash burger, dude.
He's got those tallow, those tater tots. They're made with tallow.
Tots
Oh,
are the
God.
shit too.
Yeah, and he also has another company called Burnt Ends, I believe it is. They make like sauces, And I'm a huge dipper. Like, French fries, I got to have ranch and something spicy to dip it in. And so I use that. It's called the reverse sear. I want to say it's called. Their reverse sear sauce is really nice and spicy, but really flavorful.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard of that. We go to Liberty Barbecue. You know,
that's his place too.
Yeah.
No, the sauces they sell there in the restaurant.
Yeah, I don't even use the sauce.
Yeah, the meat doesn't need any sauce.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't dare dip his meat in sauce. That's like putting paint on hardwood.
Yeah, as soon as he told me, he goes, you don't need barbecue, like, because I wanted barbecue on the side. He's like, you don't need barbecue.
Yeah, you don't
Try
need
to
that.
I'm like, you're right, I don't need it. It doesn't need anything extra. You don't even have to fucking do anything to that meat.
Yeah, no, that's on a nice favorite spot. And
Yeah, they introduced me to it. You tried Snows?
Snows?
Yeah.
No, but I am making karaoke cutting board.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he called me up the other day. Needs a maple and edge grain board, so to a certain dimensions. So I'm actually starting on that hopefully the next week or two. So.
Fucking A.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Snows is a shit, dude. Snows is. But
I've heard.
It is a bitch to get to, and you gotta get there early, dude. I'm talking. You gotta be there 6 in the morning.
I hear that's like with Hurtado's barbecue too.
Which one?
Hurtado's barbecue. He's up in Arlington. He's got a new restaurant opening in Little Elm. I know that because I'm making up 2 giant boards. 36 by 48 inch boards, 3 inches thick, walnut
holy crap!
end grain.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot of walnut.
So you got a lot of barbecue places asking you?
Well, yeah, that's I kind of got sidetracked there, but John
Is that everything?
I sent him a message because I heard all about how great a guy he
Captured
was,
past
and I'm
that
like,
time.
hey, maybe you'll help me out. It's like, hey, John, can I make a cutting board and just, you're my Tiger Market, can I just make a cutting board in exchange for an honest review? You can hate it, I don't care. I know you're gonna like it, so that's why I'm willing to do this. And he's like, yeah, absolutely, but I'll pay you for it. I'm like, I don't want to. Make you. I'm not a sales guy. I can represent my product in a way that like salesy, but it's like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, right? So I don't call people up for. I did that in recruiting. It was not my bag. I don't call people up trying to sell them stuff. So it's like, but no, I want to pay for work. I'm like, okay, I'll let you pay costs. And I told him like what half of the cost was.
Yeah.
And so, but it was the best investment I made. Because every time that guy shares a photo,
Maybe tacos.
I get an order like clockwork. So as soon as I see
nice.
that he tagged me in something, I'm like, get my pen and pad out, wait for somebody to call me and order something.
It's like some of the best like promotion you can do is the free shit. Like if you just volunteer your time, your money into
To the
something,
right person.
I've
I've done that before and given like a $300 board to somebody before, and I got nothing.
You get no
I
love.
was like,
No
yeah,
love.
I had that feeling too, but it's people that ask for it, and that person did ask for it. The one, I'll get you all these reviews. If someone says that to me now, it's like, I'll maybe do it for you at cost, maybe.
Give him a coaster. Here's a coaster. Promote that shit and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, Hurtado Barbecue, man, this guy's a legend. I believe he started his first restaurant close to 2020, and he still blew up like crazy. I want to say he started in 2018, and he has another business in marketing, I believe. So I mean, the guy's a beast. He's freaking always working, man.
Jesus. Their food looks amazing. Those birria tacos.
Yes,
Dude,
sir.
I'm in a couple
That's
different
up near
barbecue
Dallas?
groups, and like everyone is just every day they're like posting pictures of Hurtado Barbecue and Tacos.
I've never heard of them, dude.
Styles
I'm
Switch used
excited
to
to
be
try
my
it.
favorite
'Cause,
place for
when
a
I'm
while.
up there, I'm gonna. The
Styles
Little Elm
Switch, yeah.
restaurant isn't
far is
open
it?
yet, but I'm dropping those boards off probably this weekend. Well, this weekend, and I'll see how close Arlington is and go get some.
Yeah,
Food.
it's like 3.5 hours.
It's not that
Yeah.
Yeah,
bad.
the good thing is you got Brotherton's backing you. So as long as Brotherton's respects you, it's like, dude, you got the whole barbecue scene respecting you.
It's pretty humbling, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like
that's
those.
sweet.
It's a really good community. I've gotten invited to a lot of different events, and it's it's an honor, man. I've only been working not even 2 years.
That's fucking awesome.
But
like
they like my
selling
product.
selling
and-
your product.
What's that?
You've only been selling your product for 2. Woodworking.
I never used a table saw before.
Are you serious? Shit. I thought
Yeah,
you
his
were-
first thing that his wife was trying to get him to do a.
Well, yeah, but I assumed that you
That
were
was it.
doing it before. Like
No.
you saw your grandpa doing it. No. Shit.
Now,
you dove into it then.
like I said, extreme ADHD with obsessive tendencies. That's what my shrink says.
Make it work for you, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm not making anything work for me.
I
I'm just living the
got
dream,
AD,
man.
I
Yeah.
don't have the HD. I have AD. Attention deficit. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's really humbling, man. They're always trying to help out, and you know, these guys all have so much experience.
Until they
they're-
find out you're from California, then you're fucked.
Oh, yeah. That's why we got to, you know.
No, we're at it.
I'm sorry. I didn't choose where I was born.
Same excuse I hear. It's like, hey, I checked it at the fucking airport. Trust me. I left
I
all
bought a
that
house in
shit.
Texas. That counts for something.
I left California and
All
checked
three
it
of
all
y'all.
at the fucking airport. Oh, yeah, that's
Hey, hold on, man. I got a free pass for Texas.
yeah, you do.
Because Illinois militia, we're the ones that came down and whooped the shit out of Santana
Yeah.
when the Texans couldn't fucking do it. So, you know, I belong here. Plus, I had young ones here, so I'm like, I'm in.
What part of Illinois?
It was up by Chicago. Yeah, so you're down in, what, like,
I was in Bourbonnais.
Okay.
You know where Kankakee is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kankakee
That
is.
wonderful spot of heaven.
Yeah, well, it's in,
Well, it's better than
it's Illinois.
yeah.
It's Illinois.
My first sector when I was on recruiting, one of the schools was in close. It was in Calumet, which is right next to Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
When I got orders to that recruiting station, we were looking for houses. It was like,
Michael
oh hey,
Jackson.
Gary, Indiana is not too far away, and boy. You know, everywhere we went, we always tried to live below our means so we could make the extra money. Because you get a stipend for housing, you don't have to use all of it, you know.
Okay.
And so I'm like, man, we using like half our stipend. And I called up my soon-to-be gunnery sergeant, and he was like, hey, where you planning on living? I'm like, oh, we're going to live in this place called Gary. The housing prices are so cheap. He's like, no, you are not. I'm like, why? Is it too far? I mean, I don't mind the commute. He's like, you'll die. I'm like, okay.
That's where Michael Jackson's from.
Yeah, then we started looking at
Say
the
less,
the,
no.
the,
Now I get it. You'll die.
Yeah.
You'll die.
yeah, it's like you might want to look at the
You like
the
bars
crime
around your window?
statistics over there. We did like, oh yeah,
That's funny.
probably shouldn't live there.
Yeah, that state is the only state to start selling legal marijuana and is still broke as fuck because the politicians are too crooked, man. Like Illinois is hot trash, man. Hot trash.
Is their weed even good? I wouldn't know, but I'm just,
Is what?
It's legal?
Yeah, no, it's shit. Yes, it's
No
legal.
idea.
The
Their recreational stuff though is through the fucking roof on the price, and they only get it like they've limited who can sell it there. It's like this crazy, like seriously.
monopoly.
The only people who could fuck it up selling drugs is Illinois, man. It's unreal.
It's the government, dude.
Everyone else has been making like tons of money, and they come in like, well, we're gonna make all this where our pockets have to get padded first, and then all my friends up there like, I'm just going back to my drug
trickle
dealer,
down.
man. Yeah, I'm not buying this shit. Like, you can get something in California that like let's say the gummies, like a package of those, like $20.
Yeah.
Up there, like the same package or comparable is like $60-$70.
Ugh.
It's ridiculous, man. Like they've just gone.
So it's still
Ape
like
shit with it.
mafia run.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have had, I think, the most governors and people in jail for random things. We got Blagojevich, Ryan. There's some other ones.
Soon to be Lightfoot.
Sounds like
Yeah.
fun place to be.
Yeah. That's why I don't live there. Fuck that noise. I'm cashing in that Santiani card. I'm coming down.
I checked all my California shit at the door, and I bought a house. I'm in. Not going anywhere.
Grounded.
Bye.
I'm not going anywhere.
My wife was pregnant. She's like, I want to go. I got to go see my mom, see my family, who almost all live out here now. But I'm like, you want to go back there?
Oh, we go back every
How is it in
November.
Costa
I need my
Mesa? Just a bunch
burritos,
of
man.
Asians, right?
What's
In
that?
Costa Mesa, isn't it a bunch of Asians?
There's a bunch of everything over there, man.
Oh, I'm thinking Westminster. Costa Mesa. But I just remember seeing a bunch of white people there. Actually, that's all I saw.
You know, like white people.
One
My
less.
last
No,
name's
I
white.
mean, I
dude.
guess I'm just saying. No, it's because I pretty much judge pretty much every store I walked into while I was working in California by the people, and it's like if you see a lot of white people, it's like you don't have anything to worry about. But as you're working, they don't give a shit. They're running right by you with the carts. They'll hit your car and they'll be, you're in my way, and keep going.
Oh shit!
And
I use
was-
that same tool down south for judging Mexican places. If I walk in and there's a bunch of 80-year-old white people, I walk right the
get
fuck
the
out,
fuck out.
dude. That place has got no flavor.
Nope.
I mean,
The person
That's true.
The person that is taking your order speaks perfect English. Get the fuck out of there.
right?
Yeah. that shit.
No, I did. I stopped at a place in Honda, and I'm like, oh, look at all these fucking old white people. Whatever, I'll eat it. That shit came out looking like Taco Bell. Like they had the little like hard shell with cheddar cheese on it and like lettuce, and then the biggest fucking white person thing of sour cream I've ever seen for a single taco. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's all like ground beef with like ketchup on it. I'm like, I'm out of here.
That was
I'm not
Chipotle for a while, man.
Oh my god.
Chipotle was like sour. Like I would get a little bit of sour cream. Well, what I thought would be a little bit of sour cream on my burrito bowl, and they like the entire thing. I get back, my wife would pick it up, right? She'd bring it back, and I take off the lid, and it's like just the sea of sour cream covering the entire
All
thing.
white.
Yeah,
Good time.
not cool, man. Not cool.
So is your grandpa still alive right now?
Oh no,
No?
he's gone.
Yeah, he didn't get to see what you
Nah,
become now.
unfortunately not.
The
Didn't even
manifestation?
get to see his grandkids. He's a good guy, real good guy.
That would have just lit him up. Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
dude, that shit would have been badass.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Does your wife also help you out with some of the woodwork? Like, did she
Yeah.
get into it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, because we got 2 young kids,
Yeah.
the majority of contribution is, being tortured by them all day while I'm out in the shop. But,
Oh, what was you?
huh? I know. Yeah. Poor me. Oh, babe, the kids are throwing a fit. Oh, look at the time. Oh, you know what? I got some orders.
I like how I saw that one video where you were making a cutting board and then your son comes in and then you pick him up and he starts sanding.
Yeah.
And then you set him down. It lasted, sped up, probably all of 30 seconds. And then the kid fucks off and you're like, all right, well, I just imagine, okay, cool, now it's the wife's responsibility to go back to having fun.
Exactly.
Sanding the cutting board.
Roland, my son, I love him to death. He's actually extremely intelligent. He's also on the spectrum. They went back and forth a couple times on the diagnosis because he's so social. But as they learn more about autism, they realize that it's not, what you typically think of autism was 10 years ago.
He's like
They're
Elon
different.
Musk.
or even
Everything's
5 years
different.
ago. What's
Yeah,
that?
there's so many different diagnoses of autism.
And aspects of it.
That's why it's called the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's on the spectrum, and he is super smart and super social, and he's a little manipulator too. Oh man, just see the wheels working when he wants something, and it's like he just figures out a way to like manipulate you or like
It stops
bargain
being
with you
cute.
to get it to any other way than what you say. Hey, here's the clear path to how you can earn your game or earn this or
Yeah.
earn that. It's like, well, that doesn't work for me because I don't want to do that thing. So how do I get you
Well,
to give me what I want?
It's just as simple as I told the kid because she wanted In-N-Out, and I told her, I go, I'll get you In-N-Out, but you got to get tomato with it. And she goes, oh, okay. And I was like, all right, finally gonna get her to eat tomato. Got the In-N-Out, brought it home, and then she takes the tomato out and throws it in the trash. She goes, you said get it with tomato. You didn't say I had to eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking pissed me off, dude. I go, oh, this. They go, you're fucking no more
Throw
In-N-Out
her
for you.
away.
You're done with In-N-Out. You're never getting In-N-Out. Dude, I was
man.
pissed. Because I was like, I finally got her to eat something. And nope, then she manipulated the shit out of me. So yeah, the cuteness goes away real fucking quick. Because it
yeah.
becomes manipulation for everything, dude. Everything she wants to do, it's just, well, hey, so do you want me to take the dog out? You want me to feed the dog? I was like, fuck, she's going to ask me for something. I already fucking know it.
That's where you
Just
say,
waiting for it.
yeah, that'd be great. And then when she asks you something, you're like, oh, no, we never made any agreements on that. Sorry.
That's what I do. That's exactly what I do.
I'm going to throw that tomato right in the trash. No.
I brought it up, and she's like, "Damn, you're never gonna forget that tomato." I go, "Fuck no,
Fuck
you
no.
caught
No,
the
dude.
shit out of me."
Oh, there are things that I've realized that I'll never forget, that I'll always hold against my kids. It's going to be like at one of my daughter's wedding or something. I'll be like, I remember this fucking bitch shit on the floor. Like, something
Yeah.
just random that just bothered me. But not everything's cute,
No,
know? But I
it
love
isn't.
I love my kids, man. But there's different stages for sure where you're just like, like right now, my daughter is a lot like me, which is the worst thing that could have ever
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Ever, man. But she's she's a pain in the ass, man. I mean, I think worse than me, honestly. It's
Yeah, no,
concentrated
she's,
me.
she's
Yeah.
definitely a little firecracker. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
can't contain that little one.
Nah, she just does what she wants, throws you the hand, like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Does it?
oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't even, like, this is the, and I'm like, where do you pick this shit up at? And then Jen says something, I'm like,
That's the worst thing when it's like, oh man, he's learning from everything that I do.
oh, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
exactly what I do.
So how old are your kids?
My son is almost 8,
Okay.
and my daughter is 3.
Oh, so same age range. My son is 8, and my daughter's 3, going to be 4.
Oh, nice.
So by now, have you kind of figured out which one takes after you, which one takes after your wife, or is there kind of like a good mix?
They're both kind of jerks, so that's pretty much all me.
Right on.
No.
Yeah. So,
That's your answer.
yeah.
My daughter definitely has a lot of my wife's mannerisms
Okay.
and the way she talks things, and like a lot of the expressions she makes are 100% like, "Oh my God, you're just like your mother."
Yeah.
Like even just some little weird things she does, like I can't even remember like right now, like how she like try to be all cutesy and like look over the pillow or something like that, like when she's on the couch, and it's like that's
See,
it's
my
just
son,
like your
Yeah,
mom.
my
my
dog
son's
does that
just
shit
like
all
my
the time.
wife, and my daughter's just like me, and it's the craziest dynamic ever. Like she's gonna be probably like 8 inches taller than this poor kid, and that's gonna be his little sister, probably like fighting fights for him. Heard someone's fucking with my brother, just like walk in, beat the shit out of some.
I think
Thanks, sis.
I think my daughter's gonna be a scrapper, whereas my son's more of a like. I don't know. I see him more as probably like I want to be intimidating, but when a push comes to shove, I don't know. I'm trying to get him in.
He's an
jiu-jitsu
intellectual.
and stuff like that because they're at least allowed to beat him. Oh, wait, what? Did I say that? No, he needs to get a little humbled. I think that's like a really important thing to learn in your life. It's not something I learned early on until one day I mouthed the wrong guy in the Marine Corps and I got humbled really quick. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be a jerk to
It clears
people.
your head, right? Doesn't it clear
You
your
never
head?
know, especially when someone's smaller than you, and then you pick you up and throw you across the damn room, and then you cry. No, it's,
I got punched by a very small kid when I was younger, and I to the point I was in his face. That's right. Look down. Look up to me, and this and that. All of a sudden, wham!
Yeah.
And I was like, he just fucking hit me. I'm just gonna go home. Like it was after school, and I just turned around and walked along the fence, like in those fucking those
I didn't even want to play like that.
sad music videos.
Playing and shit.
Yeah, I was literally just walking along the fence, like just grazing that chain link fence, grazing that shit. And I was like,
Where am I going?
maintain, dude, maintain. He just got punched. I walked away. It turned out it was my cousin. I didn't even know that. I know, dude. It was not blood, but it's in the family. And I didn't see him till years later. I was in my godmother's house, and I was chilling with my cousin. And then the dude walks out of the room, and he's her cousin as well.
Oh God, he came
And
back.
We looked at each other. I was like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And it was like we were barely teenagers when I got hit in the face, and we were already adults. So I was like, "I'll never forget you." But do you remember me? Like,
Those are important lessons, man.
Dude, it humbled me the fuck up real quick. But he was cool. Like, no, we never brought it up. It was like an unspoken thing, or he didn't remember one or the other. But I wasn't gonna bring it up. I was like,
Remember when you beat my ass? No.
Man,
But, that's what I wanted with this kid. Like, she went to fucking Hernandez for a few months, and that's a ghetto ass school. And I was like, mouth off to the wrong person, please. They'll fucking put you in your place real. Because I think she needs to learn what a punch to the face is.
There's a lot of humans out there that have never been hit in the face and like made it to adulthood, and now it's like now they can't because they'll sue you. Talk a lot of shit, get punched. Now I gotta sue you, man.
Yeah.
I was instigating, running my mouth, and then nature came and called, and then it's
Kobe
like,
Covington.
yeah.
And then there's the big
ridiculous.
guys that take it way too far. It's like, oh, you insulted my honor. I'm gonna punch you. It's like the whole wannabe alpha kind of guy. And then there's also the ones that
What did
just
you
pick
say?
fights and then and like trying to start stuff. And then it's like, oh,
The guys
I'm
where
a victim. Look at me, I'm a victim. So it's just
There's those guys, even when you're like, hey, my mistake, man. I'll buy you another beer. Not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
they
they
want
want
afraid.
Yeah, he
they
folded.
want
Yeah.
to see you like submit to
Squirm.
them, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they want to be like everyone like gonna turn around and clap for them or something. You know what I
see
mean?
what
Like
I did
the
there
hero
again?
in their movie. It's just like
I always went like, when I got out of the military, it was just like nothing but drinking. That was like the coping mechanism at the time. And so we'd go out drinking, and my wife's friends were still like in party mode, early 20s and shit, going out to crappy clubs and stuff. And there's always those people, and they just start shit for no reason. And I remember going with one of her friend's brothers who was in the army. He was like an army ranger, and that dude was fucking like as big as this guy, but just like looked like he could drill a hole through the wall just by staring at it, type of a thing. And was just like constantly looking at somebody like, I'll fucking kill him. I could fucking kill him. And like, I fucking believe it, man. It's cool. Well, let's have a beer. But these guys, run their mouth and stuff. And he's like, let's do it. Let's kill him. I'm like, oh, just chill. Let's relax.
Dude, we're a cracker
And
barrel.
people are still running their mouth. Like, do you see this fucking guy behind me? Like, chill out. But we made it to the parking lot, and At the end of the night, not like, oh, let's get out the parking lot. And, you know, these dudes still running their mouths, man. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to suck. So I was just like, dude, I'm going to come over there and fuck you in the ass and jerk your friend off. And they're just like, what? I'm like, I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. Like, not beat the shit out of you. Just like, I'm going to fuck that ass, man. And, like, it just turned super awkward. And everyone's laughing. This big dude behind me is like, what the fuck? Like, diffused the whole situation. And I'm like, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. But, you know, it's like those people, like, they get it in their head. And no matter what you say, they'll always be like, fuck you, dude, until you're like, hey, listen, man, I'm gonna jiggle your balls and fuck you real good, man. I promise you're gonna like it. I've been to prison, you know. And then they're like, well, no
you
shit.
gotta get all weird.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, that's inappropriate, you know. Like, now I got
like those videos where the
sexual harassment charges against
him. Right when they're ready to scrap, he pulls his pants down and they're like, oh, fuck this shit.
No doubt. It's that psych warfare, man. That's the way to do
exactly
it.
what it is. Especially black guys, they hate the gay stuff. I'm serious, dude.
Where's Kaylin?
Black females, cool shit.
It was killing me.
Black males, they do
Need to
not
confirm.
fuck around with that gay stuff, dude.
Oh, man.
Like, they're cool with it, but they don't want it anywhere around them.
But you're right. You know, I mean, to that effect, I think we had this conversation before once that, you know, I talked to one of my kids' teachers at the day, like, oh, we have a zero tolerance. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You know, let little kids scrap their shit out. You know, they're not going to hurt each other at 3-4 years old. You know, let them learn.
Knock each other out.
Yeah, and most of the time it's just like picking at stuff, you know, then it's a teachable moment. But just saying, no, we don't do that, you're expelled or something to a 4-year-old who's like,
no lesson learned there.
yeah, you know. And I mean, I'm not talking like curb stomping people, but I remember fighting with kids. And same thing, it wasn't over anything other than the fact that, like, I was a big fat kid, and then this other dude was a big fat kid, and we're like, well, we can't both be big fat kids. And then we're like, for 2 weeks, butting heads and shit. And then all of a sudden we're like, man, let's just pool the fat together and you know, stress everyone else's out, you know? But that was the thing, like, no one ever got hurt, man. I think the worst I ever got was like a bloody nose in high school.
Especially that young, all of even up to high school, dude, you're fucking made of rubber.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like if you don't give kids, you know, I don't feel like there's enough external work being done, you know, like you're saying, putting your kid in jiu-jitsu or soccer or sports or anything else. So many kids just come home and fucking veg. And then on top of that, you know, they're not getting to get out the anxiety and angst that they have, you know, at school or, you know, things. And plus everything's online now, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Plus, they
hard
have
time
all
to be
the
a little kid.
hormones going on. And
Yeah, it's a hard time to be a little kid, man. But I think they should just bring like toddler boxing in to the mix. Yeah.
Look,
I mean,
when we used to fight in school, is everybody they would see us fight, and then someone would be like, teacher, and we fucking cut it. We cut it.
Yeah.
It's like that amount of time we had scrapping. That's all you had. And then that's it. You're fucking done. Beef,
That's
squash, whatever. Move on to
No
whatever.
issues,
If y'all want to
man.
get down later, you can meet at the pond or at the hill. But other than that, it's squash. And it was fine, dude. You're in the fight. Both of y'all got into it. Then you let some stress out, cool down the rest of the fucking periods, and then you're good.
My kid only
It's
like
human nature to escalate, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where society got. I mean, it's gotten more and more. Now you got school shootings, and it's, you know, it's like, so I'm torn. It's like, yeah, I grew up, you know, and then especially in the Marine Corps, it's like you got to scrap some stuff out, you know, and kind of close the blinds and shut the door, and, you know, two guys had a problem with each other, could go sort things out. You know, it's happened. But
go my approach, it'd end a lot differently. I'm just saying.
yeah, I do. Yes, everybody shut the blinds.
Hey, listen, boys, shut them blinds. Let's go time. Don't let anybody Let's hash this shit out.
Why is Barry White playing out of that room?
We're working things out.
Everybody comes out. This is the only one sweating. What are we doing there? We're working some shit out.
Don't ever let it happen
It's
again.
human nature to escalate, especially if something becomes acceptable. Then there's going to be, you know, it's just going to go more and more and more. So I don't know. I'm at a kind of an in between on that. It's like, you know, there should be something more supervised. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously you can't have. Well, maybe you can give kids big old Hulk size boxing gloves and have them put them in a ring. I don't know.
It's
man.
like the puppy bowl.
But then of course you got to think about the liability issue and the parents that don't want their kids to be like that.
Don't start
you know,
shit.
So we
Won't be
hamstring
shit.
each other, you know, ourselves as a society, and to, you know, okay, pretty much have everyone wear white gloves all the time. You know what I mean? So it's got to be more of like on the parents to kind of put their kids into situations where where they can learn those lessons, whether it's getting jiu-jitsu, trying to teach them at home, and I kind of took more of a peaceful parenting approach with my kids, which is really freaking hard at times, but it's it's just kind of one of those things where it's like you got to teach your kids to think ahead, think and make those connections in their head from an early age, so they don't have to learn it later on, or not at all, and just kind of screw their life up.
Does your kid spend a lot of time? Your boy, does he spend a lot of time on the iPads and stuff like that, like looking at?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a problem. I don't have a problem with electronics. My kid has a little phone, which it's like a kid phone. So we approve whoever can actually.
Oh, like the Cricket Wireless, right? Like the ones where you put like 3 program numbers in there or something.
Kind of.
Like that?
I think it's like basically on Messenger.
Oh.
So whoever we authorize him to, he's not even on Facebook officially. It's just a Messenger app, so that he can message his grandma, myself, his mom, and that's it. And we let him play games. We primarily just let him download educational games, and obviously we have the pass on whatever is downloaded or whatever he can see. He can't just access the internet. I'm a huge proponent of that because kids love that stuff, and if they can focus on it and learn from it, I mean, you're harnessing a huge advantage. The kid's interested in it.
Yeah.
And so it's actually been really helpful for him. My kid, 1.5 years old. It's funny because well, not really funny. I had neck surgery at that time, so I was sitting in a brace for like a few months.
Hilarious.
And yeah, I know. Oh boy, that's a knee slacker. No, he. So every night, his mom would Jess would put him in my lap, and I'd grab my iPad, and I'd open it, unlock it, put my 6-digit code in there, and swipe a couple over, and open his Daniel Tiger game because he loved Daniel Tiger, and he would play his game on there for a few minutes before I went to bed. Well, one day I was lagging. I grabbed the iPad, put it on my lap, and reached over and got my phone. I got a message or something, and I turned back and I watched him hit the. It's when we had buttons on the iPads. He hit the button, so the screen came up. He slid his finger along to unlock it, punched in my 6-digit code, swiped over a couple pages till he found his game, and then started playing. I was like,
That's fine.
how old is he again?
That's how you know he's on something.
Yeah, so I mean,
This kid's a genius.
technology is everywhere, man. I mean, it's the way of the future. More and more, our society is going over to
Even in schools now, man, got their
Yeah.
own laptops. And
It's
stuff.
really important. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now requires a lot of design experience. I gotta learn a couple different design programs. I'm learning how to video edit. Doing all this other stuff on the computer, and I was pretty late to learning all that stuff because I was big, really restricted at my house. Plus it was, I grew up in the 90s, so it wasn't as much. So, I'm actually kind of the opposite of a lot of people are like, oh, we need to restrict, phone time and all that. I mean, he still gets out. He still goes out and does chores. He has responsibilities and he has social time. Obviously, but there's always got to be a balance to it. If he just comes home, like some people that just their whole life outside of school is just straight home and going into their virtual world, which
Fucking Richard.
isn't always bad either. I mean, I ran into a guy the other day, big World of Warcraft guy, but he's also a woodworker. I ran into him when I was at the.
Is it a big dude?
What's that?
Big dude?
No,
I just assumed World of Warcraft, big dude.
no. Picking out wood and
That's not a game. That's a way of life. Dude.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I mean we were just picking out some lumber and we were waiting for the guys to check us out and we just struck up a conversation. He has this weird symbol on his shirt and I noticed it on his truck too. And I was like, what's that symbol? And he was like, oh, World of Warcraft. I've been playing since the day it began. And I'm like, oh, wow. And he was like, telling me all about it. It's like, whew. But hey, that's great, man. But he's just talking about all the friends he made. He's been playing with them for 20 years now almost or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you still get that social interaction as well. I mean, to an extent. I mean, so it's
Something to be
It's
said for
social,
that.
dude. It's
Yeah.
social, and especially now, it becomes real. Those friendships, especially when you're older. Yeah, as a kid, you're just your friends online because
Yeah.
it's not like you're traveling wherever the fuck you want to go. But like as an adult, those friendships do become real life friendships. For example, me.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of people that I know personally that I met 15 years ago on a fucking video game.
yeah, I've been able to go like crash on people's couches in different states for doing things like saving money just because I play with a group of people. Actually, the group of people I play with now, they're like constantly doing charity stuff. Like they'll do different events, and whoever wins, you know, everyone pools their money in, and then it goes to that winning team's charity of choice and stuff.
Nice.
So it's like,
It's pretty cool.
yeah, it's a pretty cool community, man. And I agree. Like my dad was always like what you were saying about, you know, because he used to play Space Invaders on the Atari, and he woke realized it was 3 a.m. He's like, well, fuck, you can't be productive on this. So no one got to play video games,
Yeah.
dude. Like I'm like, what's that? You know, looking at people's N64s and Nintendos, they're like, get the fuck out of here, dude. What are you guys doing? What are you playing? What is that? You know?
I had a
it's
Commodore
ridiculous.
64 when I was 16. It was my grandpa's.
See?
And,
I
missed
went
out
as
on all
far
that.
back as Atari.
Yeah, I mean, missed out on all that. But, you know, his argument was, you know, well, it's still not worthwhile. And I'm like, the fuck you talking about, man? Like, you're out of touch. Like, now I can go to California and sleep in someone's couch, Pennsylvania, Alaska, Hawaii, wherever the fuck, you know?
think about all the
Overseas,
careers
too.
now people have with
Yeah.
this stuff too. YouTube guys that you know, like there was a I listen to a lot of YouTube when I'm working and stuff. I gotta have some sort of background noise, man. I don't do good with silence. And you know, there's like channels dedicated like catching streamers. There's channels dedicated to did I say streamers catching cheaters. You know,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And there's guys that you know, obviously playing the game or critiquing the game or loadout building.
It
how to
gets
have like
so specific, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're not
It
just talking
really
about, oh, this guy's a Call of Duty content creator. Nah, he's a Call of Duty fucking Warzone
Aficionado.
player, or he
Yeah.
does builds, or he does fucking meme builds, or he just does whatever. Like it's super
finding
specific.
strategic
Yeah,
points on each map
Exactly.
for each
Little
weapon with
perfect
each attachment.
peak
Like
points through a hole in the wall. Like you can angle, if you angle it right, you can guard this side. It's like you can see the fucking the base camp right here, section B or
and
whatever.
they make good money doing
Yeah,
it
dude.
too.
They-
If you bring value.
You know, my favorite YouTube channel has been here lately is watching the dudes who are like really good at hacking. Fuck with scammers.
Oh, when they hack that.
Oh my god,
dude. Those
so
are
great.
good.
Like
So Mr.
Kitboga?
Rajamajadaj says here, right here at building 1392, who the fuck is this guy? And they start flipping out and shit. It's the greatest.
Yeah, I used to listen to that a lot. I used to listen with the speaker on though in my shop, and obviously it was really really loud. And then I turn off my machines, and it sounded like I might be like a little bit racist because you have these like people screaming in an accent.
Oh yeah.
People clowning on it. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, turn that to maybe get some earbuds.
I got some headphones now. It's like, it's not what you think.
Yeah, just watching YouTube. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, those always crack me up, man. Solid.
One more question. You did a cutting board for Momo's Micheladas?
Yeah, more of like a presentation board. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For the,
You know them personally, or they contracted you for one?
we ran into each other quite a bit at the markets, and I'm like, hey, you're always at these markets. Can I make you a board? And that way, kind of,
Who,
get my
Marissa
stuff out there.
and Casey?
Yeah.
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 I used to work with them at the Oasis. They're good fucking people, man. And
Oh yeah, at the Oasis.
Yeah, at the
oh, yeah, I've
Oasis.
heard about that place.
Yeah,
Pretty
we used to-
awesome.
well, that was my first job when I got to Texas, and that's where I met Marissa. And then later on, I met her boyfriend. Her
Yeah, they're good
fiance.
people.
Yeah,
Casey.
they're fucking amazing people.
Yeah, they're
But
awesome.
I was
Is it
looking
on
for
your
your stuff.
website?
What's that?
Is that one on the website? We
His
Yeah,
Instagram.
go to where's the gallery? Oh, I didn't put a link in yet. Well, so if you go to,
It was on
where's
his
my
Instagram.
gallery? I can.
Oh, is it up a little bit? Oh no, wait.
no.
Well, it looks like I need to do work on my website. And let me send you a link. I'll send you my product.
Was that Bird's Eye?
If you can
Nice.
send it through Messenger, we can pull it up.
Yeah, it is Bird's Eye.
Ooh,
Charcuterie.
nice.
Charcuterie.
At the very least, those things could be weapons.
Charcuterie.
In a pinch.
Yeah, I sent you a link to Google image thing. I don't know if you can open that on the computer or not. But yeah, those bottle openers are good sales too. You know,
bet
stick
it
them in
is.
a
Yeah.
laser engraver. Those are usually just scraps, man. Like cut
Nice.
off. It's like, all right, 4 by 8 inch.
Except for that one in the middle. Except for that one in the middle where you actually burn some calories.
Yeah, that was supposed to be coasters, but there were some problems on the back end. I'm like, I don't want to use that for a coaster, but it'll work fine for.
Which one did you have the most time with? Like you had to spend the most time making?
Which board?
Anything like
Yeah, what was your most time consuming
Like,
piece?
wouldn't these be the most just because of all the end grains you have to put together to get that checker pattern? Or does it take longer to cut all that and then press it together?
So end grain boards do take quite a while, and obviously the size depends on. Like the ones I'm making now, like the Hurtado boards, I've been working on for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because they are massive. I had to buy special equipment and buy special things just to like my normal process to like make those jigs that I make work. So like. Basically, all the end grain boards are edge grain boards that I made really, really, really long and then just cross cut and then flipped them up and glued them back together. Okay. The inlays take a long time. That's a walnut inlaid into maple. That's not like paint or anything. That's just wood.
That's different wood.
Yeah, so that's curly maple there. So the charcuterie board I did for the Semper Fi America's Fund. And let's see. If we go down, what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say that curly maple is one of my favorite, man. That real tight
awesome.
pattern like that shit's expensive.
Dope.
That's not cheap, man. When it's got that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good looking wood.
that's what she said.
Hey, you run through those. That's what she said. It's a lot of when it comes to woodworking.
I didn't realize it till that someone mentioned it at the time, but doesn't it look like the Miller sign?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see
Genuine
here.
Miller.
That was a pattern I was trying out, trying to draw the eye into the middle, but I got to revise that a little bit. There was too much maple in the middle. But let's see here. If we keep going down, we'll run into the edge grain stuff. That was a ZZ Top inlay.
Nice.
That's
I saw that one.
fucking
Yeah, that one's
badass.
badass.
Yeah, I did this one for 02 Foxtrot. My second cousin works there, and I was like, "Oh, Zero Foxtrot, what's that?" And I googled it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's that
I saw
company.
their logo.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to do something with this. So I
I
actually
buy a
had,
shit ton of their stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good. Good
yeah.
shirts, man.
Yeah, they got great art, man. I was looking at their site. They got really good illustrators
and
there.
the quality of the shirt is badass too. If you ever want one.
I had that cherry and maple. I had just a bunch of end grain scrap just sitting on my shelf. Whenever I have something like that, I'll just toss it on the shelf so I'll use it eventually. And then I had this board, and I make like certain size boards now instead of just like whatever. I try to keep like 12 by 19, et cetera, et cetera. That one had some pith, which you don't want on a board. It's like basically the heart of the tree of a really small tree. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna warp like crazy. So I cut it off so it's too small, and like, so after I talked with her that night, I looked at their logo. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this. So I started messing with the logo, and that night I started cutting that board.
Nice.
And it's hanging up somewhere in their office now.
Cool, man.
So,
That's
Nice.
awesome.
yeah. So inlays take a while. Makes them very expensive, but people that want them really want them. So
Yeah.
Oh, these things are fucking badass.
yeah, I'm trying to get into like some end grain wall art. Like a lot of companies, they want to have art on their walls, and
I saw one that you did for. It was like it had like the wireless
Yeah.
charger for your phone, and it looked like a whole bunch of little compartments.
yeah,
And it got me to thinking, because I want one for my G Fuel.
Yeah.
you what?
Did we not cover that?
G Fuel.
No, that'll be
No.
second half.
All right, yeah, I'll let you know. But
Okay.
it's just one where it's like the tray on top with a bunch of little compartments you can pull out
Yeah.
and pull stuff out.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I saw that and I was like, oh shit, I wonder if he does that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Curly maple, curly cherry, some more just regular soft. Actually, that was soft maple, and then that's Peruvian walnut. You can tell because it's really dark. Yeah, that was
Not being racist.
Yeah, walnut is
that
one
was
of
my
my
first.
favorites.
That was my
man.
first board. That was the picture that started it all. Took that picture, like I said,
Nice.
8 orders in like a couple, and it was like 2 days, I think. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's like okay, well that's our niche then.
Yeah, dude. I mean, shit.
Do you go to any market days or anything like that? And station up?
So there's a farm in I think it's technically Manor, but it's like right down the road from us in Pflugerville, and it was called Lazy Ass Farms, and it was a great spot, and they helped us out a lot. But unfortunately, like this year, they decided not to do it anymore. So
Yeah.
we've been looking elsewhere. I actually have a market coming up.
Is that the one downstairs?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I actually, I did the Smoke Game Strong Festival last week, and then we're going to, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Troubadour?
Troubadour.
Troubadour. Yeah, we got a booth at Troubadour, which is
Fucking A.
a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So that's gonna be a good time. Yeah, these charcuterie like serving plates. That's an end grain one. Those actually were pretty popular too. They're kind of a pain. A lot of CNC time, and boy, if you take a chunk out and if the CNC does one thing wrong, you have like a $300 piece of wood that's now firewood.
shit.
So yeah,
Fuck that.
Coasters have
so
been
you bring out the
huge hit,
sander, and manually sand that part that's fucked up.
yeah, I've been there, but usually it's like with the CNC, by the time you hit the emergency stop button, it's already gone. Yeah,
Cut
well,
in.
That shit moves so fast,
Yeah,
man.
these coasters, Rich's brother, Mario gave us. The one where your beer's on.
These little wood coasters.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my little brother had those made.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah, and then the kid made me that little. She got me that etched in or whatever it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All that red, that's Paduke out of Africa. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Shit.
we go
You get all that
Yeah,
wood?
no, okay.
yeah. All that wood I buy over at Fine Lumber and Plywood in Austin.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. There's a local spot you can go.
Yeah. So like that's a gummy cherry. It's from a cherry tree. Oh, that right there, that was over at the 100 Black Men event they had for Chris Singleton. I was doing a book signing
called
over at
Million Man
the
March.
Black
That's
Pearl
cool.
here in Austin.
Nice.
Yeah, they commissioned those coasters made from. That's out of Niobe. It's a really nice, got a nice orange tint to it. It's done those too. Those were a gift for my former boss. Has a friend that is Native American, and he actually initially contacted me about some other coasters that were up there. They're of Vikings.
Yeah.
And so he thought they were Native American symbols and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know if you really want to send Native American Viking stuff, because I think they had a little bit of a history that wasn't exactly friendly.
It wasn't as bad as the other white folk there next door.
If you can find out,
Yeah.
but if you can find out what tribes he is affiliated with, or his ancestry, I can find out. So it turned out he was I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation, but Asagi and Hoppy, and so I got him 6 coasters, 3 of them with symbols from what I gathered on Google were related to hospitality and friendship and stuff like that. So I did 3 symbols each. So hopefully you
Pretty
liked
dope,
them.
man.
But yeah.
And those are all lasered?
Yeah, these are all laser. I wouldn't, since all these coasters are edge grain, I don't really do inlays on edge grain because it's a lot more difficult due to my machinery. If I had a nicer, CNC machine, Avid CNC,
I mean,
Plugs in.
I'm here.
you got a fucking laser or
Sponsor
something.
yet.
That's
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
But yeah,
That's awesome, man.
this is actually, I made it from a buddy of mine. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher his. Like I said, ADHD. He has a company named Off Camber. Really good buddy of mine. He's been helping me out a lot too. And he is really big into off-roading. His company actually does tours, where he brings people out off-roading, teaching them the basics of how to climb rocks like
control.
Spider-Man in your
Yeah.
freaking Jeep. So, yeah, he's big on those badge of honor trails when they actually do a trail. He's yeah.
Oh yeah, you just won my
really great on
mom's heart
coasters.
with
Oh, yeah,
that.
like,
yeah.
Yeah, if you can
Whoa, my mom too.
I made a what was it? Yeah, I made another one of those, and it sold within an hour.
So that's the CNC.
So that's the CNC. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Had somebody that wanted to. Her mother was very religious. She wanted to marry, so made that one for her.
Guadalupe.
You got
Yeah,
the,
Lady Guadalupe. But
the Last Supper right there too.
That's awesome.
I don't know why that one's in there, but
Informational.
informational. I am making an informational slideshow eventually. One of the many things I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And you
But-
learned all this through YouTube and shit like that, and people that have showed you stuff.
YouTube, more YouTube. Yeah, pretty much all YouTube. I just, Google it. I joined a couple different groups, and just found, a group that wasn't toxic as hell.
Yeah.
No.
And, actually gave good advice and
Supportive.
That took half the year to do.
Yeah.
no joke.
Oh my God, man.
Facebook's crazy, man.
Yeah.
People when they have that barrier of anonymity between you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that person, it messes with your.
Toxic, dude.
It's
Social skills,
It's
bro.
like
Yeah.
you have those interest groups.
throw out everything you're on, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll come back. But throw out
Okay,
like
here.
all your
What are your links?
where we can find.
Oh
you.
yeah, my links. So we're our website's www.whiteoakswoodworking.com. You can not going to get a whole lot there besides like some basics of a hard maple board and a walnut board. We do mostly custom work. People always want to have their own little spin on it,
Yeah.
and we're always coming up with new ways of doing things. So that's our website. Instagram is at White Oaks Woodworking. TikTok at WO Woodworking. So wow Woodworking. That's not a very good one. Probably should change that handle. But we're on Twitter as well.
Hold on.
White Oaks Woodworking. Yeah, I should get you where you can find us.
Perfect,
Yep.
man. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, you got to